Welcome to today's video. Kenneth Copeland is an American author, musician, public speaker, and televangelist. Copeland has been identified with preaching the prosperity gospel, which has been criticized by various denominations. His Tarrant County, Texas-based Kenneth Copeland Ministries, KCM, advocates daily application of the Word of God, meaning the Bible. KCM specializes in biblical teaching that focuses on faith, love, healing, prosperity and restoration through diverse media, such as television, internet, books, CD and DVD. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Kenneth Copeland has a net worth of approximately $300 million. According to Wikipedia, in 2009, Copeland's $3.6 million jet was denied tax-exempt status, opening up a possible investigation into the church's expenses. Copeland failed to disclose the salaries of his directors. In 2008 the ministry stated it owned 5 airplanes, one of which is valued at $17.5 million. Furthermore, Copeland is an avid pilot, and his pride and joy is a $20 million Cessna Citation jet, Inside Edition reported. It's the fastest private jet money can buy. He said he needed it to better serve the Lord, and proudly did a flyby for his followers after the church bought it. But that's not the only plane used by the church. Inside Edition found a fleet of planes registered to the church. The Kenneth Copeland Airport is located right next to his mansion. He recently acquired a sleek Gulfstream V private jet that Kenneth Copeland Ministries bought, for cash, from actor and filmmaker Tyler Perry. Now, the church is asking another $17 or $19.5 million for the building of a hangar, upgrading the runway and maintenance. He was a target of a Senate Finance Committee investigation into allegations of questionable spending and lax financial accountability of 6 ministries that the prosperity gospel. According to Inside Edition, Copeland lives in an 18,000 square foot home outside Ft. Worth, Texas worth $6 million. It has beautiful water views that comes complete with a boathouse. According to Daily Mail, Copeland and his church takes in tens of millions a year, through donations and selling books and DVDs to his donors. Copeland's current salary is not made public by his ministry, the Christian Post reported. However, the church disclosed in a property tax exemption application that his wages were $364,577 in 1995. Copeland's wife, Gloria, earned $292,593. It's not clear whether those figures include other earnings, such as special offerings for guest preaching or book royalties. Another 13 Copeland relatives were on the church's payroll that year. In the 1980s, Copeland's church purchased land on the shores of Eagle Mountain Lake from the estate of a Texas oilman. Afterward, it discovered added value underground, an oil and gas field. Grassley, the senator leading the televangelist inquiry into their finances, quizzed Copeland about Security Petrol Incorporated, a wholly owned, and for-profit, subsidiary of the church created in 1997 to manage that resource. Lawrence Swicegood, spokesman for Kenneth Copeland Ministries, said Security Petrol was established to protect the church from the liability risk of oil and gas production and to minimize interference with the church's religious activities. No company officials, including John Copeland, its president, had received compensation or profits from the company, and all revenue goes to the church for general operations, Swicegood said. Reserves from gas wells in the church's name were valued at $23 million in 2007, county records show. While natural gas platforms sprouted on church land, John Copeland, a self-described cowboy at heart, pursued a side business in cattle and horses. Beginning in 1993, John Copeland leased church land to run his business, El Rancho Fe, Spanish for Ranch of Faith. 5 years later, the church separately sold John Copeland land for his ranch and residence, Swicegood said. Swicegood said appraisals were done to determine fair market value for leasing and selling the land, adding that the lease benefits the church. John Copeland must improve the land, and county officials confirmed the church gets a roughly $100,000 annual tax break for putting it to agricultural use. The church board approved the transactions. While the purchase price is not public record, the 33-acre property would have been worth about $93,000 that year, said John Marshall, executive director of the Tarrant Appraisal District. The land is now valued at $554,160 by the district. John Copeland and his wife, Marty, no longer sell horses but continue to operate the cattle business, Swicer said. Located in an office complex in a North Dallas suburb, Integrity Media is the kind of company that plays a little-known but important role in the world of televangelism, negotiating the purchase of television time for Christian ministries. According to the Christian Post, Douglas Neese, the company's president, said Kenneth Copeland Ministries is Integrity Media's biggest client, accounting for just over 50% of its business. Neese is Kenneth Copeland's brother-in-law. Neese's son, Joel, also works for the company. The church's board was informed of Neese's relationship to the Copelands, Swicer said. Their television time is bought at market rates and the ministry gets a discount from Integrity Media, he said. Douglas Neese said his company charges a deeply discounted commission below the industry standard of 15%. The money involved is substantial. In a 1997 filing in Tarrant County, Copeland's church said it paid a related party $22 million for telecast and mass media expense that year and received a discount of $1.7 million on the transaction. Similar figures were cited for 1996. Integrity Media, meanwhile, is the parent company to a horse breeding operation and real estate company that owns a Learjet, records show. Although they are wholly owned subsidiaries of Integrity Media, Neese played down the connections. Copeland married Ivy Bodiford in October 1955 and were the parents of Terry Copeland, Wikipedia reported. They divorced in 1958. Kenneth married Gloria on April 13, 1963. They are the parents of John Copeland and Kelly Copeland Swisher. Gloria and the Copeland children work for KCM. Kelly preaches at various meetings throughout the United States, as does Terry, who also preaches at Eagle Mountain International Church, pastored by her husband, George Psons. Prior to his conversion to Christianity in November 1962, Copeland was a recording artist on the Imperial Records label, having won Billboard Top 40 hit Pledge of Love, which charted in the top 40 on April 20, 1957. Stayed on the charts for 15 weeks, and peaked at number 17. Following his conversion, Copeland turned the rest of his life over to the gospel and ministry work. Thank you for watching.